For example, number one step. What do I do here? Yeah. Now, it helps you put a dotted line where that equation is. Because I've seen students many times, they'll go, well, I'm going to subtract 11. Well, I'll subtract 11 from here and subtract 11 from there. That's not how you do it. When you subtract from an equation, you have to do it from each side of the equal sign. Okay? Again, if you have to, put the dotted line in there, okay? There's students still in Algebra 2 that are putting the dotted line in there, okay? Because it helps them solve equations. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 11 from each side. Okay, a positive 11 and negative 11, or 11 minus 11, is 0. If you want to put the 0 there, by all means, go ahead. Okay. 8 minus 11, Q. If you put the 0 there, you're going to have to clean it up.
Yeah.
But this is one step. From here to here is one step. So should be relatively easy section for you. Okay. What about number 3? Yeah, if you want to put your line there, subtract 20 from each side of the equation. Not for one steps. I mean, I know some of you are, this is probably pretty easy for you. 9 minus 20. Yep. Yep. 5, I'm going to subtract 6 from each side. These add up to 0. Negative 5 minus 6. Negative 11. Number 9, we're not adding and subtracting anymore. What are we doing? What's the 5 called? What's the 5 called? It's the coefficient, right? Coefficient is the number being multiplied to the variable. So if it's a number being multiplied to the variable, you have to undo that operation. So you're going to have to divide. Okay, Ethan, what's 80 divided by 5? I highly suggest you guys get your calculators to do this, so you don't keep asking me questions. What's the answer? All right. Number 15, I have a fraction. So what's happening to my variable? It's being divided by 20. So how do I undo division? Multiply. So I'm going to multiply both sides by my denominator, 20, or 20 over 1. Set these, cancel all the 1. 1 times m gives me m. Negative 18 times 20. For those of you who are just don't want to get a calculator, what's negative 18 times 2? 36, right? Negative 36. and then just add the 0. Pretty easy, right? What about inequalities? First of all, what is an inequality? Hmm? What kind of signs can I have for an inequality? Less than, greater than. Yeah, and then we can have the equal sign with these, right? Less than or equal to. Greater than or equal to. Huh? Well, if it has a straight equal sign, then I'm back to my equations, right? Yeah, so this section deals with all three signs. Well, actually five. Because it's less than or equal to, and then flip those means greater than or greater than equal. With these, we like to graph them as well. These are called linear inequalities. And there's a couple of rules. There's a couple of rules we have to do here, or we have to remember. If we multiply or divide by a negative number, what happens? When I multiply or divide by a negative number for an inequality, we have to flip or reverse that inequality sign. Really important. Now, when we're graphing, we can either have an open circle or a closed circle at that number. Well, it's determined by the sign. Okay, so they're determined by the sign. If it has an open circle, what do you think the sign would be? Would it be less than, less or greater than, or would it be less than or equal to or greater than or equal to? It's the other way around. Okay, if it's an open circle, no equal sign. If it's a closed circle, it's going to include the equal sign. Okay, let's do some examples. Now, these are just like one-step equations, except we have an inequality sign. This inequality sign is less than. We read it left to right. Okay? This is the smaller end of our inequality sign, so it's less than. This is the bigger sign is read left to right, greater than. Okay? So I'm going to multiply, r is being divided by 16. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 16, or 16 over 1. 16 cancel the 1. 1 times r is r. Negative 7 times 16, what is it? Negative 112. Now, Did I multiply or divide by a negative number? I multiplied by a positive number. So I'm going to keep the sign. Even though I multiplied it to a negative number, I did not multiply it by a negative number. So I'm going to keep the sign as is. Now I'm going to graph it. So I've got this negative 112. Here's negative 112. Do I have an open or closed circle? Open because there's no equal sign. No equal sign, open circle. Okay. Do I want to shade the left side of my number line or the right side? Huh? The left. I want all of those numbers less than 112. Okay, this goes out to negative infinity. And that's my graph of r less than negative 112. Now, yes, okay, that is one way to think about this. You shade in the direction of that arrow. Here's the kicker though. As long as that variable is on the left-hand side. So when you go to solve these inequalities, I don't think I put them on this particular sheet, but if you end up with, an inequality where you have the r on the right-hand side, make sure you flip it around if you use that rule of the shade in the direction of the arrow. Here's one way you can avoid that. Always solve inequalities to make sure you get the variable on the left-hand side, even if you have to deal with negative numbers. Okay? Then you can always follow that rule. All right, number 19. I have multiplication between the 7 and the n. So I'm going to divide each side by 7. I get n on this side. I can divide 0 by a number. This I can't do. I can't divide a number by 0. That's undefined. So this I can. Okay, it's 0. I divide it by a positive number, so my sign stays the same. By the way, this is called my inequality statement. Okay, so first of all, I'm at 0. So I get a circle 0. Is it an open or closed circle? Open, because there's no equal sign. And shade to the right, because that's the way my arrow's going. Or if you really want to think mathematically about it, it's all of those numbers greater than 0. Let's find one that's a little harder. Let's look at 23. No, it's not that hard, but there's the rule we have to follow. I have negative 10k greater than 30. I have multiplication between the coefficient negative 10 and k, so I have to undo multiplication. Yeah, Divide both sides by the coefficient -10. Cancel the 1. I get k and -3 on this side. What happens to my inequality sign? It switches, it flips, it reverses, however you want to say it, because I divided by a negative number. Yeah, really important. -3. Circle it, open or close. Open, there's no equal sign. And I'm going to shade to the left. How about 25? So you have b minus a -14 greater than -1. A double negative gives us what? Positive. So I'm going to rewrite it. And then I'm going to subtract 14 from both sides. I get b is greater than -15. Circle -15. Good, it's an open circle, no equal sign. Shade to the right. About as hard as it's going to get. Yeah, 26. We're going to add 11 to both sides. Be careful, the sign sticks with that k. So I have -k greater than or equal to 14. Don't forget, there's a 1 in front of the k. So I'm going to divide both sides by -1. There's a 1 there. I have to get rid of that -1. So they cancel the 1. 1 times k is k. 14 divided by -1 is, but I divided by a negative number. So I have to flip my sign. My circle's at -14. I have to close it because of that equal sign. Shade it in. And then I'm going to shade my number line to the left. Be good? First day of school, sleeping. All right, you're on your own. You've got more than enough time to finish this worksheet.